Tommy, you ready? Good. Anytime you are. Appreciate it.
All right, we are here at the end of the year. Hard to believe we are at the end of 2023, looking forward to 2024. With that comes the ball drop. The City of Buffalo hosts a ball drop, as we all know, down in Roosevelt Plaza. We have significant planning in place. Our command center will be open in headquarters. We will have a significant police presence. We coordinate with our local, state, federal partners. It's a multi-jurisdictional detail. We look at all intelligence information. Again, we also work on the EMS side with the fire department. So a lot of this planning goes into place to ensure that it is a safe and fun time for the thousands of people that want to come out. The message that we send everybody, to be responsible. Come down, enjoy yourselves with your friends and your family, watch the ball drop, ring in the new year, but do it responsibly. Think before you drink. Know that if you are getting high, you cannot drive a vehicle. We will have DWI details starting tonight throughout the weekend. We will be out enforcing both driving while intoxicated and driving while ability impaired by the use of narcotics and or marijuana. So please think before you go out. Have a ride, have a designated driver, use rideshare, taxis, Metro. We know that the Metro is going to have extended hours for their train on New Year's Eve as well. So just have a plan before you come out. And, we're definitely going to be out in force, and we're going to make sure that everyone is down there to have a good time. With that, I'll take any questions.
Can you just talk about being downtown, watching the ball drop, being in a big mixed up crowd, how sometimes, being shoved the wrong way, stuff like that, how that can cause violence and stuff like that?
I think people come down, you get a lot of people that come down there, and what we have seen is that everybody's pretty happy. They're down there at the end of the year, and they're ringing in the new year. When you get large crowds together, it's the same if you're out at the stadium, you're at the arena, a lot of festivals in the summer, a lot of people are shoulder to shoulder. So just remember that, if somebody bumps into somebody, they're trying to get through the area, wish them a happy new year, wave it on, and keep going the way you're going. And, fortunately, we haven't seen any type of those incidents to speak of. We've had just very minor incidents over the years, nothing to speak of. So I think everybody's pretty common in their theme of having a good time.
Can you remind it?
Okay. How should people be vigilant? You're in a big crowd, always safety in numbers. Some ideas for people to be vigilant about.
Well, as the saying goes for 23 plus years now, that if you see something, say something. If you see something out of place, if you see a bag that you believe just doesn't quite fit or it's unattended, grab a police officer, grab somebody, grab a security official. There's private security down there for the stage itself. Grab anybody. We're all in contact. We're all talking to one another. K-9 will be down there. Erie County Sheriff's Explosives Detection will be down there. We are canvassing the area ahead of time. We use our explosive detection dogs before everybody even gets down there. It's secured by security and police, and then they are constantly on watch down there as well. So all this goes back to if you see something, say something. Don't think that something is too small that you don't at least report it. That's what we're there for. And let us be the final judge of whatever it is that may be of concern. That one minor thing that you think it's not big enough for me to say anything on, you never know, so it's better to be safe. Again, we'll have a significant detail that will be down there. The more eyes, the better, and those eyes include the public.
What about for our teenagers? What advice can you tell your parents that's going to let their teens go down there and just watch the ball drop and stuff?
So, again, it's a family fun event, and, you do get a lot of younger people that want to go down there, and that's perfectly fine. That's what it's there for. But my message to parents, as I said before, is obviously know what your children's plans are, know who's going to be chaperoning them, know who they're riding with, know what time they plan on being home and what their stops are. The younger people below 21, as we know, they are not allowed by law to drink alcohol. They're not allowed by law to smoke marijuana. And as a parent to a teenager as well, it's a concern of them even being on the road at those late hours on a night like that. So again, communication with your children to know what their plans are. And this goes to everybody again. Have your plans in place, know what you're doing, where you're supposed to be, more importantly, how you're getting home.
And separate from outside of New Year's happening downtown, as officers out on the road and stuff like that?
So we have details out, as I said, we'll have, DWI details, we'll also have some other proactive details out. We know there's, a lot of bars out there, big night. We'll be monitoring a lot of those extra bar areas. We have obviously the Chippewa detail, the Allen Street detail, those entertainment details, they will be fully staffed. We will be out for those. There are other establishments in other parts of the city that will also be monitored. We're in communication with several locations, and we also are aware of bars that typically tend to be busier on what would be an off night, a Sunday night, which is now the on night. We are aware of those, and through our directed patrols, our prevention model of policing will be out in a lot of areas.
Go off the, on that vein, the Groove Lounge in their letter, it was kind of shared around. You guys are obviously vigilant to the whole city, so how do you respond to the Groove's, I won't call it unofficial request? I don't know if they made an official request to you guys.
So they did, and this goes back years. So as everybody knows, that we've had to do peace and good order closures at the Groove in the past. And part of the reopening, the conditions of reopening, was better communication on the part of the ownership of the Groove with the district, with Charlie District. This simply followed in suit with what has been in place before. The Groove Lounge had closed for a time being. Apparently now they have decided to reopen. I think they have some other plans in place, but they reopened for this night. So in following suit with what has been agreed upon in the past, they have notified us that they will be open. We appreciate them for doing that because, as I said, they have been closed. We don't want to find out that they suddenly open without any communication. So they're just simply following suit with what has been a part of the conditions of those past closings. We will have officers around there as we normally would.
In the same vein, in terms of the other business potentially reopening, in terms of Love Marcella, is there any update on that? Any potential reopening? Have you talked to the owners? Is there ongoing dialogue that you're aware of?
I have not personally spoken to the ownership, but there has been meetings that have occurred with the Bravo District Police Chief, the Commissioner of Permits and Inspections, and the investigator from the State Liquor Authority. They had a meeting, I think about a week and a half ago, discussing, obviously still discussing the issues. There is no timetable at this point for a reopening, but meetings will take place with the ownership through the Department of Permits and Inspections. So we are obviously fully participating in that process. We've discussed on the police side what we would like to see as some of the conditions for opening. I won't discuss them publicly now because I don't want to get into those discussions through the media. That's better suited for the ownership of Club Marcella, who, I said this before and I'll say it again. They are very involved owners. I know they feel terrible about what happened, but they definitely want to be on the forefront of the best security plans possible, and we're going to work through that with them on how to potentially reopen the establishment. They have other issues, unfortunately for them, with the State Liquor Authority, that they had their liquor license suspended, so that's a whole nother set of problems. So even if the city allowed them to reopen at this point, it would only be without alcohol. They would not be able to serve alcohol. So there's several balls in the air on this thing that have to be addressed by multiple entities, both on the state side and the city side. So that's, I think, still going to be a process. It's still going to be a bit.
Sorry, Commissioner, one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Separate from Club Marcella incident. For those, want to celebrate at home and stuff like that, can you remind folks about the rule, what goes up must come down? As far as people like to celebrate when the new year come in, they like to shoot guns in the air.
You lost me for a second there. Going back to Newton and the laws of gravity. So, as we'll say in anything, we have been extremely proactive when it comes to gun violence. Extremely proactive, and we have seen significant benefits this year on our reduction in gun crimes, our reductions in shootings, our reductions in homicides. If you are out there and you're firing a gun and we get a call on it or we hear it, we're coming after you. Whether you get into your house, if we've got evidence, we will immediately have our detectives engaged, get a search warrant. We will get in that house at some point. We will surround the house and we will get in there. This is an absolute message. Anybody that wants to use guns in an illegal manner, if they are not able to possess a gun, they're not permitted, or even if somebody had too much to drink and they're using a gun that they're legally permitted to use, clearly, if you're under the impairment of alcohol or any other substances, we are going to come after you. We are absolutely going to enforce any irresponsible or illegal gun use. So that goes for any of these parties that may occur where there could be a potential or there is gun violence occurring. We will have our officers out in force. We will surround the house. We will hold it. We will get a search warrant, and we will come in and we will address the situation. So same goes for fireworks. We want people to be responsible. There are certain fireworks that are legal, fountains, things of that nature. But keep in mind your neighbors. Keep in mind your surroundings as well.
We all good?
I'm sorry, one more question, I swear.
You said one more question like 3 ago, so go ahead. Go ahead.
I swear this is my last question for real. This is the last thing as well too. Is driving, some people like to wait it out, sober on, sleep a little bit, and drive the same sober a little bit, Basically just driving while hungover, is that just as dangerous as driving while drunk or anything like that?
Well, I wouldn't say there's no legal term of driving while hungover, but you have to keep in mind, depending on how much you drink, your physical size, how much you've consumed, there's a lot that goes into play, but typically you can safely consume 1 alcoholic beverage per hour. That's a can or a bottle of beer. That's a 1 ounce shot of alcohol, or that's a 4 ounce glass of wine, not, 1 drink that's this large. So, if you consume 1 alcoholic beverage of those size, of each of those, size specifications per hour, then you will be within that legal level that you can drive. When you get up to a point of 08, you're obviously intoxicated. So if you have been drinking too much to the point that you're hungover, you're going to want to wait because you are probably still going to be at or above that limit because you have not processed out all of the alcohol that you had consumed that got you intoxicated that you are now hungover from. So the best advice is probably going to want to wait the full day. Calculate how many drinks you had, and you're going to want to calculate so many hours beyond. You're probably best to just not drive for the entire day.
Thanks, everyone. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, everybody.